It is about 0 degrees Celsius, and we are launching the first of 4 gatherings, 2 virtual, 2 real.
Hank, we are live now.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I got the notice.
Not before, right now.
No, I know. It
okay.
said so when it was. Do you have to start again?
Yes, please.
It is about 0 degrees. Okay, I start again. Live from New York. It's the Moon Gallery, and today is the first of 4.
Elena, can you prepare the presentation in backup, please?
What is going on? Do you want me to do it or not? Okay. So, a little confusion. Sorry. So we're in New York City. We're in the edge of Hell's Kitchen. This is the Hudson River on this side. This is the west side. This is Midtown. This is 42nd Street leading to Times Square. Somewhere out there is the Empire State Building, and we see downtown Hudson Yards. It is around freezing. There's still snow on the ground. Our first of 4 events is a virtual event, and we're at my apartment in Midtown Manhattan. And later on today, we will have another event at a gallery in Greenwich Village. And so that will be a live event, and there'll be wine and appetizers and posters, and it'll be a live event followed by the lucky ones get to come to dinner. And then tomorrow, we all get into a minivan and drive to Washington, D.C. for a series of events in Washington. We have an event tomorrow evening, again, at a gallery, and then followed by a fancy Indian dinner, courtesy of Adarsh Deepak. And then the next day, we have another virtual event from the hotel. And then that afternoon, we drive to Wallops and we prepare for the launch. And we're going to crash a party for sure, the Interact party, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm very excited. I'm one of the artists and also one of the hosts. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. What a great place to be. Please, you have to. Yes. Yeah. You have to. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Yes. So we have a great host. You see the International Moon-Based Alliance, and we have a cast of actors from all over the world. Let me introduce also. We have a Space Renaissance International, our host for this event. Also, we have a YouTube channel. So we are going live on Space Renaissance YouTube channel. And we have also with us our press officer and Serena Croti from the other side of the Atlantic. We have a number of guests, and we have put a program where we see a number of space experts and artists from all over the world, from the Earth, Moon, and beyond. So now we, thanks to Serena, that has compiled contribution from many of us. She has put together a slide presentation, and please feel free to comment when we are going to go on the slide that we have prepared for you. But for those of you that are also with us, we want also to give you the floor. So think of the 30 seconds of Earth and Moon fame that you could tell for the future. So let's see if from my side the presentation works. Otherwise, of course, as we do always in space, we have a backup solution, and Serena is going to help you. Do you see the view
on
the screen? Yes,
it works.
So technology works, and we arrived actually. This is a kind of planetary expedition. We have been starting from various places of the world. Some of us came from Europe. Yesterday, we come to New York City, which is hosting also a number of very good collaborators from our EuroMoonMars, ArcMoonMars, Moon Gallery. And then we are going, as Hank was explaining, to have interplanetary flyby. So New York, Washington, Wallops Island, International Space Station, and in the future, we'll go to the Moon and Mars with you together to the orbit and then to the Moon and Mars, Moon Gallery. So let's see. Yes, 19 February, we are going to launch as part of payload or moon gallery test flight to ISS. And here are some views of this moon gallery that is really a test flight for what we want to do on the moon. So I'm looking at opportunities to launch already some Earth science payload already next year. This is all, keep it confidential because this is still under negotiation. But the moon gallery as a whole, we hope to launch it before 2025. And so I'm discussing with various providers. Some of them are going to join also us in Wallopside. So we fly the moon gallery with Nanoracks. And so this is on the Antares rocket. So we have got a special talk that will be presented by our space rocket expert, Peter Rock. Later we go on this more detail. So here the format of our presentation is also in terms of like a press kit that we'll be able to use to spread the message to all the community. Okay, this is my quote. We are reaching low Earth orbit on our way to the moon. First step to extend our culture and interplanetary dialogue to space. You will see that. And the history of the project, this was actually the idea came to me after we launched already some payload to space on the Photon capsule for 3 weeks and on the International Space Station in 2008. We launched some gallery of science artifacts. And then we recovered them. And now, we have a quote from Hank Rogers. So maybe you come here to explain your quote. And yes, you are very proud. You are very proud of it.
I'm very proud to be a part of the Moon Gallery. I hope to play a part in the building of the first moon base on the moon, says Hank Rogers.
This is from Hawaii and New York.
I'm the founder and director of the International Moon Base Alliance and one of the Moon Gallery test flight ISS artists with an artwork called The Human Pearl.
Yeah, so we'll come back to you with all the artists describing what you do. You brought some moon water. That's very good. That's very valuable. And here you can see how the Moon Gallery test ISS is mounted on a box. And actually, this was the grid was manufactured by Marie Kuiper with the help of some of our collaborators. And then it is mounted on a cube that is developed by Nanoracks. You have the names of the artists, which are written together with the title of their piece, but also there will be a camera inside this box. And from this camera, we'll be able to see the inside of the back of the moon gallery. And this will be then put inside the space station, and the astronaut will have the ability to work with it and to incorporate it in their daily life. Here we have a pleasure to have with us the Honorable Stephen Honigman, former General Counsel of the Navy. And he has some statement for us.
Well, first, I want to say that the Moon Gallery test flight is a really inspiring high technology convergence of the human impulses to create art and the human impulses to explore the cosmos. I wish you well. I'm very impressed with what you're going to do. Thank you.
Honorable Stephen. Also, thanks for connecting us to the world of New York, and including some very nice media contact with New York Times, but also with some art network in New York. So what else can we expect?
Well, I think we can expect much broader attention and much broader support for this project as you go forward. So let me leave you with this concept: upward and onward.
Yeah, excellent. And also, Stephen was advertising that he has flown some payload to space before, some very historical and some emotional payload.
Back when I was the General Counsel of the Navy, I worked with NASA to take an original copper spike from the wooden hull of America's premier wooden fighting frigate, the USS Constitution, old Ironsides, that was the first American warship to circumnavigate the Earth. In the 1840s, in fact, in the late 1840s, we called it Camaran Bay. So we took a spike that went around the world on water and we sent it up to space on a space shuttle for the first rendezvous with the Russian spacecraft Mir. And we brought it back and it's now on display in the USS Constitution Museum in Boston. But I also have a connection with my friend Bernard here because I worked with the Navy's program for Operation Clementine, which was the Navy's very, very lightweight camera that took some of the first pictures of the back of the moon. So we're both Moonies.
Yes, excellent. And we expect the Navy and all the Space Force are going to help us to send more probes to the moon and beyond for science, technology, and peace.
Absolutely. All three of them.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephen. So, oh, sorry. And we have done a number of events since the creation of the Moon Gallery project. And in particular, okay, we started the project team like 4 years ago, and we started call for ideas from artists over the world. And we even created some early prototype of the Moon Gallery. And one of them came up halfway to the moon, to the toward the summit of Mauna Loa in Hawaii, at the place where Hank has his moon base. So what do you do in your moon base?
We have a test facility called High Seas, which is the Hawaii Space Exploration Analog and Simulation. And what we do there is we practice living, well, originally we practiced living on Mars, and now we practice living on the moon. What does it mean? We have a dome, it's 36.
Oh, I have some. Oh, no, sorry. Okay.
It's a 36-foot dome, 36-foot dome with 6 occupants. It's about 100 square meters in floor space. If you go outside, then you have to wear a spacesuit. And if you if you communicate with the outside world, if you're on Mars, we delay that signal 20 minutes each way. And if you're on the moon, it's only 2.5 seconds. So it's not so bad. So we practice, the location is the middle of a lava flow, and it has lots and lots of, 100-year-old lava flow. It has lava tubes, and we, in our EVA suits, we explore lava tubes. So this is very interesting, and I invite anybody who's very interested in living on another planet to come and spend some time with us on our other planet.
Excellent. So we have a roadmap, various events. We do some on Earth where we put the Moon Gallery, a mixture of art and science, on a landscape that looks like the moon. We launch it to space. We bring it to the moon on a robotic lander, but then at some stage there will be also astronaut on the moon, part of the moon village that will also take care of an art museum on the moon. So we brought it all around. In particular, we had also in the middle of the pandemic, we had an expedition where we went in Etna, the volcano in Sicily, where with a group of 10 EuroMoonMars collaborators, we met for the first time. And then we brought scientific experiment, but as well, you can see the Moon Gallery brought there. And Serena, actually, you have some statement about it. What does it tell you, the Moon Gallery?
Yes, thank you, Bernard. I just want to say thank you to all the artists that sent their contributions for this presentation. And while looking at the contents of your artworks, I was very impressed, and I really want to congratulate with your works. And I'm a designer, so I'm kind of close to the world of art and space because I'm doing some projects related to space design. And looking at your works, I was really surprised from your capacity to put together so much contents and of knowledge, of values, of humanity in so small and tiny cubes. So thank you very much.
Yes, so that's the dream of an architect and a designer, Serena. She's building habitat a bit bigger than 1 cubic centimeter. But
Yes.
I mean, we try to do things big and small. And also she's finishing a master thesis on the design of a lunar habitat, a very beautiful work And we hope also to have the ability to build some of it on Earth and then on the moon. So let's continue on our trip. And now let's give the voice to the artist. Now, artists, we have to be careful. I believe everybody is an artist. Everybody has a part in his brain, in his hands, where we can be an artist. Also, everybody can be a scientist. We are all artists, scientists, and space explorers. We are also, oh yes, I have also, yes. We have also, we are all astronauts. We are astronauts from Spaceship Earth. And I have the pleasure to introduce the cast of this space astronaut artists that are a member of our Moon Gallery to ISS. We have all their names, and we are going to do other shows where we are going to introduce you one by one. But we are, we are in New York. And so let's see what does New York have to bring to us. So we have with us Eva Petric. So Eva is born in Slovenia, but she is multicultural. She has roots in Slovenia, Austria, and New York. So Eva, so why did you do this piece? And why did you contribute? Also, I had the pleasure to meet Eva when she was the artist in residence in one of the largest planetary congress in Europe, in Vienna. She was the only artist present there with 5,000 scientists. And you managed quite well. And she tried to inspire all the scientists to also expand their art dimension. And we had also some project where I locked her in a moon base for one day, and then she started to be inspired by what she could be doing in space. So tell us your story, Eva.
Thank you for the nice introduction, Bernard, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you here from New York. Yes, I met Bernard at the EGU conference in Vienna at that time, and I was translating the scientific theme scales in science into scales in art. And after this, Bernard invited me to the residency where I was able to experience isolation as being on the moon and being left alone with the whole team forgetting about me. And after this experience of extreme isolation, I was to come up with 2 projects that would go into outer space and help astronauts alleviate feelings of isolation. So this made me really think, you know, what does it mean to be an earthling of this earth, and even more so an earthling in the form of a human. So every single living being on this planet has a shadow. And this led me to think about shadows and their abilities for communication. They endow us with emotions, speaking a universal language. And I went and I took a form of my shadow and translated it into
you brought your shadow.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Everybody brings their shadow.
Into a lace image, which is it's serving as a kind of totem for all the ways within which we are interconnected and which we sometimes place in the shadow and don't really see. So with this image, the hope was that it could be as a tattoo on an astronaut and a constant reminder of their interconnection within themselves, their own body on a cellular level, as well as a planetary level amongst society and intergalactic level on the macro scale.
So you are doing multiple shadows, but I understand you are also bringing all those things to remind you of Earth.
Yes, Earth, our one and only home. Of course, maybe there are other planets we can inhabit, like Kepler series of planets, but for sure we would have to either change our constitution the way we are to be able to live there. So I'm very interested in this overview effect and, you know, really seeing Earth for what it is, one and only planet, and so fragile, this lonely dot floating in the large sea of cosmos. And because of our being interconnected with everything in the web of life, it is our common responsibility to really be aware of this and to treasure the Earth and try to make a change.
And so you want to send a payload to the moon, and as an old space engineer, you talk with acronyms. So you are going to bring a DBE to the moon? So really, that's like another language. So what is a DBE?
A DVE is a fragrance, data bank of emotions, which is a fragrance because our brain has 100,000 receptors for fragrance, only 4,000 receptors for taste, for example. So fragrance is a really powerful tool, and it is one of the things that catalyzes for emotions faster than anything. And so I thought, you know, if there's an astronaut and he is homesick for the planet Earth, so maybe there can be a type of fragrance that can instantly trigger for him or her emotions of Earth and give him this feeling of interconnectedness. So I created a fragrance based on the national tree of Slovenia, linden, just because it's my own specific home. And it was also incorporated and used in the CS base of Hawaii, where the artists and the scientists, they tested actually the ability of the fragrance to, in a way, help them connect to Earth and alleviate feelings of isolation.
Thank you so much. So we will talk more about you. And you want to do about yes, Stephen.
I just want to point out from New York City that one of the major roads in Queens is Linden Boulevard.
Oh, linden. So, okay, let's bring some linden to the moon. Yes, and let's plant some. We have actually in the moon gallery some seeds. And so in the future, we will have also, we will put trees on the moon. At the beginning, it will be in a pressurized atmosphere. We have to build some domes there, and we'll have some oasis. And that's really a project where Hank is active. So let's move to our other New York artist. Thank you very much. Yes, because we are now celebrating New York with Hank Rogers. He is a citizen of New York, Hawaii, and of course of our planet that is trying to save. So can you describe what you want to do on the moon gallery now?
Oh, so do you have the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, so my moon gallery, what do I want to send to the moon? So what we're looking at is a golden cube, you know, gold representing, I don't know, you could say human greed over the centuries. You know, we've launched fleets of ships to get gold. The inside disk is white gold, which is representing the moon. And there are red, white, and blue stones, red, white, and blue being the colors of both the United States and Russia, the original spacefaring countries, and also my home country, which is the Netherlands, and Bernard's home country, which is France. He likes to point this out to me. So they're ruby, perfectly cut, ruby, diamond, and sapphire, 57 cuts, perfect, 1.2 millimeters each. And the central stone is something very personal to me. I call it the human pearl. And I went to great pain to create this object. And it was interesting because at first I thought I only had to make one of them. And then all of a sudden somebody said, no, we need 3. And I said, you got to be kidding me. So what the central stone in my object is men can't have babies. So what can I make? And the answer is I can make a kidney stone. And so this is a 6 millimeter kidney stone in the central, and I actually collect them. I don't actually make so many kidney stones anymore because I stopped eating meat. And that's what my doctor said. If you stop eating meat, you will reduce your kidney stone production. And I went from producing them every 3 months to producing them every 4 years. So it's a good thing. And I went to great pain to send 3 of them. One is going to the ISS, one is going to the moon, and the one that's going to the moon, I still have it.
Yes. So we have some things that we can show to you. And indeed, yes.
So this is the actual art piece. Oh, it's hard to see. I know, I see it, but
yeah,
it's tiny. It's a little cube. I can open it up and I can take it out, and it fits in my hand, and it's the same on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That was the instruction, because on the ISS we need to be able to see it from both sides. So I had to have the set of ruby, sapphire, diamond on both sides. Anyway, a little background. I used to be in the gem business when I was much younger. And
Yeah,
so
that's
that's where, and I know how to make jewelry. So basically I drew it on a piece of paper and I went to a jeweler and I said, make me this. And, you know, it says, what is this for? And I said, well, it's going to the moon. So I thought, wow.
Excellent. So thank you very much, Hank. And you have even some
my
of
little
the
drawing, yeah.
So about New York, we have also with us in presence a visitor to New York. We have Mary. So Mary Kuiper is an artist which has been working with us with our EuroMoonMars program with the Moon Gallery from the very beginning. And actually, de facto, she has been curating many events that we have organized where we have shown various art pieces in poster form, in big form, in various installations. And she has also manufactured the grid that is now carrying the Moon Gallery ISS, your art piece. So here we have a great picture of Mary. And can you explain what you want to send to the ISS now?
I would like to send real horsepower to the ISS. My dad was a kind of horse whisperer, so the subject is quite close to me. When the question came in 2018, when I met Bernard and some other people from the team, was, what would you like to archive for future generations to be sent to the moon? And how would you like to express this in a piece of art that just fits in 1 cubic centimeter? Well, this is something that's a big question for such a small item to create. And I usually have the theme of working with nests and bronze and looking at the fact that weight is expensive to send into space, like a kilogram will be about $1 million. I thought, okay, just forget the bronze, forget nests, think of something else. But what has been important? So I've been many times at ESTEC and joining events from Bernard, read a lot about space, looked at videos. And what I noticed was that engineers still are using the word horsepower for engines or whatever in space. And that was really something. I thought, wow. They use still horsepower for things to send into space. And horsepower was also used by horses themselves to expand ourselves in ancient times, to go and see new horizons. And but okay, I'm alpha, I'm not beta. What's power? How can you put power in a cube? Okay, power must be light. And so I started to talk with all kind of scientists, and one person said, well, Mary, you've got the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, what's that? Well, mitochondrial DNA is the power plant in our cells. So if you find some mitochondrial DNA, then you've got some power. Okay, in living cells, you got it. Horses, do they have this mitochondrial DNA? Oh, yes, they do. Especially, well, in all kind of cells. So I thought, okay, maybe in hair. No, not in hair itself, but in the follicle of hair. That's where you find the mitochondria. So for me, it was bingo. I can work with horsehair. But what am I going to do with horsehair? And then I decided to create a circle, because also a circle is very strong. Also a circle can expand. Throw a stone in the water. What is the circle doing? It's expanding. And the nicest thing of all is also that this whole project is also broaden my own horizon, because now I start to know so many things about space and the space world. So it's also figuurlijk. How do you say it? Okay.
It's inspiring, but
Yeah.
you didn't stay at home to do that. You did a bit of expedition to get this hair. You didn't get the hair from your neighbor or in Holland. So
Well,
where did you go to get the hair?
Well, I tried first to do it with the neighbor hair, but then finally I started reading and I found out that Icelandic horses are the purest horses on earth. They hardly have any diseases. And whenever a horse from the Icelandic island has been transported, right? Yeah.
But you went to Iceland.
I went to
You
Iceland.
joined an expedition that we had with the EuroMoonMars team. Let's
Yes,
be
the
advertised the
Iceland.
Chill Ice. This is a team which was organized by the young professionals themselves. You know?
Yes.
I don't have to do anything now, to do it all. And they invited you to join this team of scientists.
Yeah.
So you were the artist in company and you met this nice creature here.
Yes.
And you borrowed the hair.
Yes, it was really funny.
Yeah.
I talked to the horse. I was grabbing grass, fed grass to the horse. So he started to like me, and then I also had to pull this hair out because I needed the follicles. But it worked out well.
Yeah, and we are going to bring this. I don't know what is his name, but the name of this beautiful Icelandic horse to the ISS.
Yes.
Excellent, Mary. So, okay, so, actually, so what is next after sending this
Mitochondrial
DNA?
Well, my dream is to, now to go to the moon, to Mars and beyond,
Oh, my
because
God.
I think ISS is the first step. And it's also, I'm also curious because I made this tiny circle, and I'm really curious if it will stay a circle also in space with all the power during launching. So it's a kind of test. But after that, I really want to go to the moon, to Mars.
Yeah, so on the ISS, I mean, it's an environment where the astronauts are, so it's quite comfortable. On the moon, that's a place with a lot of UV vacuum, so we'll have to adapt all our ideas, but that's a way also to learn about science and how we can better understand our environment, control also how we live. And these are lessons that we want also to bring back to Earth.
Yes.
Excellent. So we have we have a question,
I
Stephen.
need to check one thought.
Yes.
What is the name for a female horse? A mare.
Inherent.
A mare.
A
A
Mary.
mare. And
Yes.
you're sending this into the ocean of space. And what is
Yeah.
the word for ocean?
Mare. We say to Mare Tranquillitatis. or-
Mary.
Mary, that's your-
sending.
That's Mary. And your name is Mary.
Yes.
So I think-
And in Dutch, it's also called Mary.
Ah,
Mary.
there we go.
A Mary is
So
a
you're
Dutch-
marrying all of those concepts
Yes.
together.
Yes, I would say that
Yes.
your name determines what you
And
do. Mary.
however, maybe I'm visiting Kuiper Belt.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. So we are in New York, and we have another artist from New York. Actually, that's Masahito Ono. I don't know if he's. Are you with us online?
I'm here.
Yes. So Masahito has already flown some artwork to the to space already. So that is his second trip. So what is your story, Masahito? What do you want to say?
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction. I'm Masa Ono. I'm a Japanese artist based here in New York City. And I'm actually in Chelsea right now. So I'm probably only like 20 minutes away from you guys. So my work, I have it here, this tiny magnet that I have in my hand. This is going back to the space for the second time. And it has flown once in 2020 on SpaceX mission to the space station. And this is the second time that it's going to the space station. And I've been asked by many people so frequently, like, why do you have to do this? And I always tell people, why we do the project that we do. And the reason is, I think at the moment, right now, before the launch, this thing that I have in my hand, this is just a work. And I always tell people it is the space that transforms the work into an artwork. Because by that, what I mean is it's not already an artwork. So we use the space as the medium to transform the work into an artwork, to add a meaning, a new meaning to an artwork. So this magnet that's going back to the space station for the second time, so it has flown once, and then what happens is at about 400 kilometers above the Earth, that's where the ISS is. It's still very close to the Earth. It gets attracted to the magnetic field of the Earth, So it's supposed to, when it's flying nose, I think the magnet would probably still, point towards the position of the Earth no matter what. And when it's flying south, I think it does the opposite. So what this does is, so this shows you the location of the Earth wherever you are flying. So that's what it is. And then, the reason that why this had to fly twice is that, the first time was really the first time. And the second time, now it embodies, so this thing becomes like an astronaut. I mean, many astronauts have gone back to the ISS twice. I think there was one person or two people who went back to the ISS up to 5 times. And then, so this magnet now really signifies and becomes like an astronaut that we know today. And when this thing lands on the moon, it exists calmly on the surface of the moon as just an artifact from the Earth, because I think from what I understand, there's no magnetic field on the moon. I mean, not as strong as the one we have on the Earth. So it will probably just sit there very quietly. And then on the moon, I mean, this signifies our presence. This becomes an artifact that came from the nearby planet called Earth. So, I mean, there's a lot of story that this is going to tell, I hope. And I'm very excited to see you everyone later in the evening. And thank you very much for all the support and everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we see you also later in the Time Art Gallery event, and we do another event where we meet some of the artists. And clearly, yes, not much magnetic field on the moon. There used to be some 4 billion years ago. And also the moon was much closer to the Earth. So the moon now is crossing sometimes the magnetosphere tail of the Earth, but in the past, they were even more connected. There are 2 magnetospheres that were connected, and very interesting effect. So thanks, Massa. And we have also some artists that have been working with us for a long time, and among them, we have Alexandra Archanskaya. Actually, I met her at the European Space Agency Space Research Technology Center, where she had also a solo exhibition, and she also performed some beautiful real-time visual media paintings at the same time as our EuroMoonMars workshop. So Alexandra, so what is your story? What do you want to bring to space?
Yes, hello everybody. My greetings to the beautiful city of New York, a beautiful place. I hope I will be there again. So very glad to see you all in person or online. Just checking you hear me well, yes? It's what?
Yeah.
Great. So I'm very glad to be part of this project. I'm very glad that we came now to this stage. I'm also from the very beginning, from 2018, participating in this project. In the beginning, it was like, do we really go to the moon? Do we really? But we already go to the ISS. So I think it's really milestone. So congratulations to everybody involved, to all participants and organizers. Just shortly about myself, I'm a visual artist. I'm working in different medias, did like paintings, live painting performances, videography, murals, and a lot of them. And my main research topic is spatial perception. So it came as inspiration from architecture and a perception of a three-dimensional space. And after my my exhibition, my solo exhibition in STEC and ESA in Norway was the first time, and actually I realized, yeah, I need actually spatial perception could be connected now with the space itself and go beyond the Earth's surface, basically. And the main concept of the spatial representation is a vanishing point. And by creating my paintings mostly this three-dimensional representation, two-dimensional surface, vanishing point is the most important part of this. It's showing when the parallel lines were not parallel to the canvas plane, or then they converge to this point. So this is a very important concept, and it actually really works because of our human physiology, that we have 2 eyes, and both of them providing flat image, but brain, by using these 2 images, by very slightly changing in them, construct the 3-dimensional. That is why all these drum worlds work when you just see like ceiling painted sky on a ceiling can really perceive it as a sky and so on. So I used for my project, then that I also called vanishing point for the moon gallery. I used my image of my painting, and this particular that you see now on the screen, it was one of my first prototype when I put this image of my painting inside the cube and make prolongation on all sides of the walls, as it accelerates the feeling of perspective and depth. And actually, you might, I don't know if it's available already, but I just sent video when explaining this project in more detail. But then for the ISS, we needed to have something flat, something that's visible from both sides. And I decided, also I just created a new version of the painting, and I use this version to put it inside the epoxy cube and print it on transparent foil. That is why it's visible from both sides. So because we needed to be visible also for crew on ISS and also for spectators from the web camera. So the ones that will be on ISS will be a bit different, but the image is an idea is the same. So
thank you, Alexandra. So
thank you very much.
Yes, we will have also opportunity in the next event to talk more about the specific pieces, and we have 6 months when we are in ISS, so we'll show a lot of material. I want also to point that Alexandra is also a scientist, she's a mathematician, so she's really connecting the world of art and science. So let's move to
thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandra, and also some a pair of other contributors. So are you online with us, Gillian and Justin?
Hi, how you doing? It's just Gillian here today. Unfortunately, Justin can't be here right now. So nice to meet you.
Yeah. So can you describe your contribution to the Moon Gallery test?
Absolutely. We made so this work began with a discussion between myself and Justin. We just discovered the Moon Gallery through an open call we saw. So we're very new to finding out about all this work that you're doing. It's really fascinating. And we were both really interested in the idea of solar sail technology, and we've been reading up about these experiments and the potential for exploring way out into beyond this solar system and out into the galaxy. So we were talking about that, and then Justin brought along this poem by John Donne, a valediction forbidding morning, because he felt that this particular line in the poem, like gold to airy thinness beat, evoked the feeling of like a solar sail being unfurled, and as this spacecraft was setting out into the on its journey of discovery. So John Donne wrote this poem in 1612 when he was going off on a journey of his own to Europe, which at that point would have been quite a perilous journey into the unknown as well. So he wrote this poem to his wife when he was leaving to assure them that they would remain connected. So we kind of based it around the central verse, which says, "Our two souls therefore, which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat." And there's also lots of other astronomical images within that poem. So we felt it was very, very appropriate for what we were doing. So the piece itself is it's actually carved from the end of a chopstick, and it's shaped down, and it's finished with gold leaf and resin. We had to decide how much we wanted to protect it and how much we wanted to give it freedom to move around while it's in space. So we'll have to see what happens, but we're kind of happy to see how it goes.
Yes, these pieces are so small that you really need a glass to see them. So I brought one. Yes, I see much better. Excellent. Yes. Yes. So, where are you calling from? now
I'm calling from Dublin. We're both based in Dublin.
from Dublin, Ireland.
Yay.
Excellent. And we have a very strong contribution from Dublin. So already from several years ago, we have been traveling to Armagh observatories and we did all the tour of Dublin, Cork, Giant's Causeway. But now in the last 4 years, we have a special program where we have a student from TU Dublin joining our program. So I logged them 1 week in a moon base, and we have them participating also to this program. So welcome to Dublin. Yes, Stephen.
Thank you.
Just another interconnection. When I hear John Donne, I think of his line, "No man is an island."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that circles us back to Ava's
Yeah.
piece of the lace connecting everybody to everybody else.
Oh, laces. So they are very good connection also with the work of Eva. Yes, excellent. So thanks very much, Liliane. And
Thank
so
you.
about places of Earth that are very involved in exploring space, one special place is Padova, the city of Padova. The place.
Bernard, it's hard to hear you. Can you sit like maybe in the
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
of your
Okay,
computer?
we will do. Then, yes, the Padova, the city of Padova, which was home of the many artists, but also of Galilei himself. And we are planning a big event in Padova, which this will be organized together with Sofia Pavanello from University of Padova, who is also mentoring a number of our medical collaborators that are astronauts. And so let's introduce some of the artists that are there. Maybe so, Sofia, we have Anna Maria Zanella, which I have also the pleasure to meet in Padova in an event that was hosted by Sofia at the medical amphitheater, at the very place where they used to open the corpse in front of the medical students. I gave a lecture there, quite emotional. And also we met Anna Maria Zanella at the Rotary event. So Sofia, can you introduce? And if Anna Maria is with us as well, can you tell the story? Thank you.
First of all, I should like to say that I'm very happy and honored to participate to this initiative that you have made and you organized very well, Bernard, together also with
That's a whole team effort. That's a collective.
Yes, thank you very much. And to say how is unique this event for our university, since this is an occasion of the 8th centenary anniversary of our university that was born in 1222. So for this reason, the next 18th of February, we will organize an event in our ancient university where also public is invited. And so we have about 2 hours where our artists from Padova, we speak about their art, and then we will connect with you, Bernard, and then also with the lunch in Wallop, okay? And so about the Anna Maria Zanella, for this project, Anna Maria created a annealed sphere the outside, and while inside totally coated with blue pigment, plus inside very teeny sphere as in the sky by Giotto at the Scrovegni Chapel. So the cell for her is a symbol of the mystery of life, of the motherhood and the material we are made of. So I think that is very wonderful, this this cell, and Anna Maria give this to our rector as a gift when we met her during an event in at the Rotary Club that Bernard.
Yeah, so yes, let's thank the Rotary Club that has sponsored a number of these medical students, and they are welcome to support future endeavor. We have also
Yes.
good connection to other Rotary clubs worldwide. Message, please sponsor your local
Yes.
artists to go to the moon. Excellent.
Yes.
And then we have
Then
Renzo.
this is Renzo Pasquale, that is the husband of Anna Maria. Renzo Pasquale, who invented a cube dedicated to Galileo Galilei with his lunar drawing from the Siderius Nuncius. This is the painting, the draw that he made in this kind of gold cube, where he painted also the city of Padua. Moreover, I don't know if there are other face of this cube. Okay, so there is also the symbol of the 8th centenary anniversary of our university. So there is in this cube of the excellence of our university and the importance of this big and great anniversary for our university. And so we are very proud also of this piece of art that will reach on with the piece of Padua and the piece of our ancient university.
Excellent. So we are all looking forward to come to Padova for the event you organize in September. There will be an event. There will be one day for science, technology, innovation, one day for habitat and astronaut, one day on humanities and arts, and also days to visit this beautiful city of Padova, and an extra day to go to Venice, of course, which is just 30 minutes from Padova. So we are all looking forward to come. So we have also with us an artist and also a great traveler. He's traveling all over the world, South Africa, Japan, Korea, and that's Ronald Vles. So he was due to come with us, but yeah, okay. Tell us your story and about your art of friendship, Ronald. Ronald, you are with us?
You should unmute, Ronald.
Hi, everyone, and Bernard, thank you. I was supposed to get into the plane yesterday to New York, and in the middle of the night before, I got my test results, and although I have no symptoms whatsoever of any sickness, it turned out positive, so I couldn't just board the plane. So I'm here, home, changed all my plans, but it's fantastic to see you and have still a link by this electronic way. Okay, my project is called The Heart of Friendship. What I want to do is bring together in friendship the people, and I do that by organizing little ceremonies with representatives of the major religions and of representatives of the old peoples, like there still are on Earth. And because I have a special fascination for old peoples, and the religions have a huge influence on the behavior of people. So what I've been doing so far was in New Zealand. I don't know whether you can see this, but here you see me with a Maori, and we are keeping the foreheads together, which is a very solemn way of greeting in Maori. I also in Holland did a ceremony with a Protestant domine, a priest, pastor, and in a church, and we exchanged bread and drinks, and all in the same thought of people that should be tolerant, respectful towards others instead of what they usually are. I also traveled a week to the Kalahari Desert in Botswana in last year, and finally met one of the old San people. They are very discriminated, and they'll be murdered for hundreds of years, of course. And but here is one, and I needed a translator, but he was I also have videos, and he was very enthusiastic about the idea. But you see, this was in COVID time, because this was the best way to greet and to put our ceremony into expression. Well, okay, so I want my cubicle with a heart, tiny heart, lying on the moon or from the ISS space station, looking upon Earth, and yes, radiates the ideal of people having a sympathy and friendship for each other, because it is quite a mess these days. To make it short, well, that's it.
Thank you, Ronald. So you could not come to New York, but we brought a piece of your heart.
Oh yes,
to New York.
Yeah, but that's the old heart. It's not as nice
old
as the one that goes to space.
Yeah, the development piece that we exposed in a previous event we had in Amsterdam, I believe. And so I have two versions of that. So I brought it to New York, and we have some nice picture of your art with the New York landscape. Now, Ronald is also a very achieved alt violist, so alto violinist, and so often in all our events of EuroMoonMars, we have musical scene. So maybe Ronald, do you have anything that you could play for us?
I play a little piece of Bach. But I'm not sure on the viola, but I'm not sure whether the sound will be.
Let's see. So, just for the simple
cry out when it's awful.
Let's fly. Let's go Bach to the moon.
Can you see me? Can you still
No, we go forward. Okay. Bravo! Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So we have to bring music to the moon as well.
We have to do it live. We have to do it live next time.
Thanks so much. And yes, we will do an event live. We'll have some more opportunities this year. Thanks.
Bernard is also a very endowed and famous violist.
Yeah, we love music. Music is a very, like science, like art in general, it's really a cement of friendship. Excellent. So let's, yes, and you say, yeah, you have some nice quotes. Yes, and now let's move to other musician. Actually, we have Guy or Guy Livingstone. He's a musician and a pianist, and he has been with us also from the first exhibition, and we have also organized some events in his own studio in the old American embassy. We invaded the American embassy in The Hague, which has been moved outside of The Hague, and which is now used as a cultural center where Alexandra and Guy have their own studio, and we have a very nice event there. So Guy, are you with us? Can you tell us about your piece? About your artwork, the Quiet Spheres.
I'm not sure he is with us today,
so,
but
okay,
he sent a video maybe, but I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, at the end we will show all the videos at once, but yes, I want to introduce. He has a beautiful piece, so Quiet Spheres. That way he has a miniature ballet of silence. As a musician, he's very inspired by silence. By John Cage and other music with a lot of silence, and he has adapted to worlds in microgravity. He has also developed an idea where he has a message that is burning, and then he's collecting the ashes from this message and send it to the moon. So, Guy, we will hear your video a bit later. We will happen to this real-time TV show.
But
then,
Bernard. Yeah? The video by Guy is very short. If you want, I can run it now.
Yeah, if it's available, yes. Yes, Adriano, yes.
If you stop sharing, and I will
yeah,
send.
Okay. So did you start it? Yes. Okay. Okay. In the meantime, let's see whom else is in this gallery. So we have we have. Let me introduce everybody. We have Mai Wada, so we'll have some time for you. We have Tuuli Utriainen, Ronald, we have seen Kete Rock, which is our rocket expert. We have Marike Venstra. Welcome, Marike. Marike is really working on a project of a EuroMoonMars Foundation to draw some more support for artists and experts. And then let's after introduce everybody. Let's hear Guy.
5 miniature spheres which will orbit the Earth. I'm a musician, a conceptual artist, and a sound designer. I make podcasts. 5 spheres, 5 very tiny spheres. When they come back to Earth on the artwork, they will vibrate because the artwork is playing a musical song the whole while that they're in space. And so only when they're actually on top of the speaker, which is vibrating below the frequency which humans can hear, only when they're on top can we hear the song, as it were. And so I don't like the phrase music of the spheres, but of course you're going to think of that. And why not? Each sphere then comes from a different material and does a different manner of vibrating, a different weight, different mass, and slightly different size. And you might say they resemble themselves planets, especially the green one. Is that the Earth? Is the brown one Mars? I'm not going to comment on that. I leave that to the imagination of the viewer.
Excellent, thank you, Guy. Yes, so let's move on to our own gallery of participants. So let's introduce. We have Kate, Hank, Marike. We have Marlène. Marlène Lausier, you want to introduce yourself? Marlène is part of the Space Renaissance International. So what attracts you to space, Marlène?
Yes, hi, Bernard. So nice to see you. I'm looking forward to seeing you later today, but it's very nice to be here with everyone. I'm one of the directors at SRI, and in my private role, I am a legal expert in cultural heritage and art law. And so I follow the development of culture into space, creating laws to define it and also to protect the artists and their artwork once it leaves Earth. So it's very nice and inspiring to see your work, and I'm looking forward to the gallery exhibit later today.
Thank you, Marlène. So we have also with us from Space Renaissance International, but from South America, Julio Resende. You want to introduce your project, in particular your Mars base?
Hello, friends. I am based in Brazil. I am a coordinator of a space analog station. Brazil, we are achieving 100 missions. Also, since the beginning of pandemics, we developed a category of virtual missions. And also I'm a representative for the SRI for Latin America. Also, I have done some activities here, very frequent activities or some webinars. And we are very happy to have the opportunity to interact with everybody. And thanks so much.
Okay, so thanks again also Space Renaissance International for hosting in collaboration this event. So now we have from Ireland, Luke Byrne. Luke Byrne, so as joined the EuroMoonMars team, you want to introduce yourself and what you will do, Luke? You unmute. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So actually, I may introduce Luke. He's one of my new interns from TU Dublin, and he's going to spend 6 months with me in Leiden. I hope he sees Leiden, or maybe he return a bit to Ireland this weekend. And we are going to lock him in a moon base in Poland, and then he will also do some expedition with us in a volcano. And let's introduce Irving Tiffany. This is also Space Renaissance. You want to introduce what you do for expansion and for civilian development?
Hello, everyone. I wasn't expecting to participate, but I'm always interested in learning. That is my forte, if you will. I'm probably the oldest person here. I'm 77. But
yeah, excellent. Yeah.
what time I have left, I want to contribute wherever I can.
Thank you, Irving. In any case, okay, we are all much younger than Earth and the Moon. So, and actually here we brought some pieces, if you can, some meteorites and some piece of the Moon. Maybe you can give me a piece of the Moon and meteorite. Also, here we piece a very fresh piece of Earth that I got in Hawaii, but we have also some meteorites from the Moon. And this is a piece of meteorite that is even older than the Earth. This is from Campo del Cielo in Argentina. This is a piece of meteorite that fell down there that was collected, and actually from the very beginning of the solar system, even before terrestrial planets were formed, there were some embryo of planetesimals, which even developed some internal magmatic activity and then shocked and then projected some debris that we could collect. So we are all young, and okay, compared to the age of the universe, 13.7 billion years old. That's what people ask me when I ask my age. If you look, the hydrogen in my body comes from the Big Bang. So I am about 13.7 billion years old. So that's all fine. And the carbon, nitrogen come from the inside of stars. So those stars are more like 5 billion years old. So let's move then to other guests that we have not heard. Kiran, can you introduce yourself? And then Thomas.
Hi.
Yes, Kiran.
I'm
Yes, Kiran
here.
first. Yeah, Kiran and then
Thomas
Thomas.
is here. Okay.
Kiran?
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Kiran. I'm doing my master's in molecular biology, and I have done my internship in Belgian Nuclear Research Center. And my studies was on wound healing process affected in the spaceflight conditions. And now I am studying how the spaceflight conditions affect also on DNA damage. And I will be participating in MPOL 11 as a vice commander, and I'll be performing experiments on stress perception and how the stress affects different processes. And that's all. And I'm
Excellent,
really excited
Kiran.
for the
Welcome. Okay.
moon. Yeah.
Good. And then we have also
Thank
Thomas.
you.
Yes, thanks, Kiran. Interesting. You see this bridge between science, biology, exploration. So clearly, we have to learn a lot from each other. And then we have Thomas, also a long-term friend that has organized a number of events where invited us in Berlin. So Thomas, what are you doing and what are you bringing to space?
Hi. I'm actually just back from the studio and hopped on the call while I was on the train. So I'm glad I could make it, and nice to see you all like enjoying the like pre-launch activities. And I'm really excited for like, yeah, the launch itself to the ISS. And my piece, it's called Ida and Dactyl, and it's like about this like satellite pair. That's where the not satellite asteroid pair, sorry, where it's like coming from, inspirational, and it's basically a mirrored spheres that revolve around each other in a cubic mirror, right? So it's like a universe of reflections, and that's also kind of what the piece is supposed to be about. It's like also playing with the overview effect that we heard before, I think already from someone else mentioned, and just bringing that into a very tiny scale, so that it's like really like you have this overview effect that you usually have from like Earth in this 1 cubic centimeter. Don't know if that's possible, but we'll see. Like, you know, that's at least the idea. It's kind of was funny to make it work, and it's now this like, yeah, really nice mirrored box that yeah, is going to be sent to Moon soon, hopefully.
Excellent. I see also in the gallery Victoria Foing. So the name sounds familiar. So Victoria is a computer scientist, AI expert, but also an artist. Victoria, so what brings you here? Okay, so Yes, Victoria.
Yeah, just here to learn about the artworks and celebrate the launch. And I'm quite impressed by all the presentations. And yeah, thank you for including me.
Excellent. And also, okay, you mentioned we have a good link with Adam, who is actually doing managing art business in London. So we hope to organize soon an event in London with you and Adam, where we can bring some of the artists. Is that okay? You can translate the message. Excellent. So we have also with us, we have Corinne from Space Renaissance International and Sabine as well. Yeah, Corinne? Or Sabine? Sabine, are you with us? Yes, Sabine, she is a Vice President of Space Renaissance International, also an achieved artist, and she is the lead of the Space Renaissance Art chapter. And she's organizing a great festival in July. So Sabine, how is it about art and space?
This is a moon from Chile, from Valparaiso, but it is not my artwork. I found this. Do you allow me to share the screen to present my work for the Moon Gallery, or you want?
Yes, okay. Yeah, you are welcome. So how do you do that? With the host, I think the host is for Adriano to give you the authorization.
Just a second. I have to share my screen here. Okay, what I did for the Moon Gallery is I was talking about Anthropocene in my works, especially represents the current state of our Earth as a result of human activities. Since the Industrial Revolution, humans have conjured up enormous dangers for their own survival on this planet. The accelerated climate change, species extinction, the shortage of raw material and energy reserves are described in my reduced globe by two phenomena: the global light pollution and the ever-increasing space debris as a consequence of uncontrolled space travel activities. So, light pollution started out small when it was possible through technical inventions to turn nights into days worldwide with enormous positive economic and social effects. But in the meantime, it has become a real problem because it has not only negatively influenced the biorhythm of humans, but also that of all other living beings. We sleep less in the cities, we hardly see the starry sky, let alone the Milky Way. And for the science of astronomy, light pollution is a disaster. The ever-increasing amount of space junk is not only a threat of space travel, it also affects optical and radio astronomical research. In addition, there have recently been the planet mega constellations to secure a global internet, behind which numerous companies suspect a lucrative business. And this technical innovation also leads to a serious conflict of interest between technical progress and astronomical and radio astronomical research, which must be resolved. And here you can see the hand holding the Earth tenderly, but you see the space debris and all the space junk, the satellites. And in the following, you see the developing process of my work. I first painted the Earth and the structure as a world map. And you can see here, I had to cut it out carefully. This is, I worked with fluorescence and phosphorescent painting. Fluorescent is when you light hitting the work is re-emitted at longer wavelengths, and I showed the light pollution, and the space debris, I made it visible. I painted over with phosphorescent painted. Phosphorescent paint is delayed fluorescence. And the dots represent or symbolize also satellites and the space debris. And then I mounted it on this globe. And you see it here on the daylight. The quality of the photos is not the best because I had only a smartphone camera. And here you see, if I hit it with light, with UV light in the dark, you see the light pollution. And here you see the space debris surrounding the Earth. Yeah, this is my work.
Excellent, thank you, Sabina. Good, so we are just have a fast overview of everybody's activities and we'll organize some follow-up episodes of this. So now we have also some guests we have not introduced. Kevin Merrick, you want to introduce yourself? And he has some good news to report on Space Renaissance US. Kevin, eventually. Yes, Kevin.
Hi there. Yeah, and I'm part of Space Renaissance and also one of the founders and chief synergists for Synergy Moon. As part of Synergy Moon, one of our primary objectives has always been getting art in space. So I'm particularly thrilled to be part of the group here at this pre-launch event for launching this moon gallery. In terms of Synergy, SRI USA, we are reforming that organization, kind of bringing it back to life. I'm in the process with the current president and some of the other members of putting back together the documentation that defines the organization, the documentation that defines our existence as an entity in the United States, and starting to work with the US members to see which of those members want to participate in our leadership committee and which members actually want to be part of a US chapter of Space Renaissance. So that's what's happening on that front right now.
Excellent. So, okay, long life to Space Renaissance and Space Renaissance US. So we have also with us Dublin again, Jack Renagan. You want to introduce yourself? Yes. So TU Dublin is with us.
Hi, I'm Jack Renagan. I'm currently interning with Bernard for the next 6 months, and I'll be taking part in MPOOL 11.
Yes, we are going to lock Jack for 1 week in a moon base without a window and with a team of 6 astronauts, and they will perform some experiment, some technology, some biology, a lot of exercise, and we will also study human factors of what it takes for an international crew to live harmoniously and do a lot of research on the moon. We have also a special experiment called time perception experiment, which is developed by our collaborator, Agata Kolodziejczyk, where they are changing the duration of the day and to see what is the effect of the activities. So Stephen, you have a question.
Just from my Navy experience, this sounds like people spending time in a submarine.
Exactly. So Stephen, if you can give us access to some submarine to train our analog astronaut, because then they get some additional credit when they apply for professional astronaut or commercial astronaut.
We'll change them from astronauts to Argonauts.
Argonaut as well. Yes, it's all ships. So excellent. And then we have also with us Sylvestra Petric. So I had the pleasure to meet Sylvestra when she was doing a visit at the European Space Research Technology Center and also in The Hague. So how do you see about this art and science going to space and the moon? Sylvestra. Okay. Do you hear you? You have to unmute, Sylvestra.
Do you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes,
I'm sorry for I have a trouble with connection and so on. My daughter Eva, who is in New York City now with you, and I'm in Slovenia on the other side. I just hardly managed to make a connection. I'm happy about this event, very thrilled very much. I remember the meeting you in 2015. And it's amazing how far this idea has come, and I look forward to further developments and to maybe succeed in placing this art gallery at Moon in space. Yeah, it's really amazing what you are doing.
Thank you. It's a collective work, and you see, it's a gallery work. And now we have colleagues from all over the world. So we had some in New York, North America, South America. We had Europe. We had we have Marika. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear first from in the middle of the Pacific. We have with us Jim Crisafulli. He's a long-term friend of Space Endeavour in Hawaii. And he's also part of Space Renaissance and ESIS. And then I will ask Marika to say some words from the moon. Yes, Jim.
Well, it's a completely loony objective, but I think I think it's really very inspiring. And sorry, I was a little late. We were having some difficulty connecting for some reason. I don't know why, but no, I think where we really want to go is where we've been, but there's so much more to achieve. And it's a stepping stone from here to, well, here. That's a bit farther away. But I think there's a lot that our team can accomplish. I see Marlene's on the call this morning, and I don't know if she said anything, but she's been so inspirational to help move our visions forward for ACs worldwide and other initiatives that we're exploring. But the whole idea is collaboration. How can we build public-private partnerships and international alliances that ultimately can help reduce the costs, enhance the benefits, and hopefully accelerate timetables for future space enterprise. So, aloha.
Excellent, Jim. And we hope, because we had a plan to have a joint event, International Moon Space Alliance, EuroMoonMars, ArtMoonMars in Hawaii in November. And so we hope to see many of you. We see at what scale we can do it. So as we mentioned, it's about art, science, technology, business services, but mostly it's about building a community, what we call Moon Village, community with benefits to everybody. And in this line, I have the pleasure to introduce Marike Venstra, which is really looking at building up our community. So Marike, what do you want to do for going with art and science to the moon?
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you. And so nice to meet everyone here today. I've been working in the background for about 4 months now, when the Moon Gallery first came to me to have some support in getting the Moon Gallery to the moon and to the ISS. And it's such a pleasure for me today to see all the artists, because this is actually for me the first time that I'm meeting some of the artists, except for, of course, Mary, who I've been working with. So what we really want to do is build a community where all the artists are also connected with each other, and all the scientists and everyone who is working on this project with Bernard already for many years. So what we're trying to do is build this community in the NFT space. I know that's a new word for a lot of people, but I'm a photographer, so this picture behind me is actually my own picture. I'm a photographer, and from that experience, I came into the NFT world, and I had sort of an education for a year, really going into all the rabbit holes. So I know a lot about NFTs. I know a lot of people in the NFT world, and what's the most important is that we first build a community. And we're building this community. After I met Bernard, I said, we need to build this not only on art, but also on astrophotography is a very interesting area. Science fiction is interesting. The whole science and education part. There's a lot of experiences we can offer to people who are going to join our community. And of course, it's not always the same level maybe that Bernard is used to talking in terms of science, but people want to learn. You know, we are seeing this, that people are really interested to become part of this community and really want to start knowing who the artists are that we're working with. So I just want to show you one little video because of course the initial idea was to show all the artworks, but because of time and we were not able to for this launch show all your artworks. But we would really like to give each and every artist a platform to show their artwork and learn about, you know, how do NFTs work and really collaborate together. So what we've decided from the EuroMoonMars Foundation is to start with an initial token that doesn't really represent one artwork, but represents, you know, the idea of sending art to the moon. So let me just show it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, so we made this 3D piece just to have an idea of where we're starting as a community. So basically the glass box is showing like all the artworks going into space. The golden box in the middle is sort of a golden token, which is a word used in NFTs a lot. It shows the little Petri dish that Bernard actually, when he was still, you know, he was working and sending things to the moon, he came up with the idea of putting art in there. So we thought that was a really good idea to put that on our token. And in the background, you actually see the Hubble images, the furthest away from Earth. So by putting this on the blockchain, you know, and putting a stamp in time, this is actually our starting point of where we're going to go all together. So, and the transparency of the box with the reflections of all the different colors is really telling us we're an open community, we're an inclusive community. So that's why I'm so happy to see everyone from all over the world and, you know, all different types of people. And I'm just in awe at the moment. So very happy to meet you. And I hope, you know, we can make a beautiful platform for you to show your art and going together into the future and to the moon. So thank you.
Thank you, Marike. Let's go to the moon and beyond. Yes, so we have now still a presentation and I have kept Mai and Anastasia because we have some nice slide from them. I could go back and here they are. Okay. Do you see yourself? So it's my pleasure to introduce Anastasia Kokori and Mai Vada. And actually, I had the pleasure to meet them, I think, at the European Geoscience Union and at various events at the European Planetary Science Congress. And they showed some ideas and artwork they have developed together. So we have with us Mai. And so if you can talk to your ideas, what you want to send, Mai.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Mai Vada, and our work is a collaboration work with Anastasia Kokori, who's a beautiful astronomer and my best collaborator. And I don't know, basically in our collaboration work, I'm just an artist, visual artist, and Anna, she makes some logic behind it, and she gave me the inspiration and ideas. So, and we're kind of connecting with friendship, I believe. And our work is about rose petal. Could you please? Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks for making such a beautiful presentation slide. And our work is a tiny rose petal. So I created this rose petal from the clay and mixed with pure rose extra. So you can actually smell this rose petal in space maybe. And I painted its with all colors, but it's a tiny sculpture, but it contains our message. It's about, I don't know, it's love in short words. So we are inspired by the little prince, and we found that in this story, so maybe the rose means kind of love. So wherever the prince were, he didn't forget about love for the rose. We are inspired by his story, and we created rose petal shape. So that means please don't forget love, whatever we do, and how further our research, our project is going on. And for astronomers who will see our work in this ISS, so please don't forget about beautiful planets, nourish us, and you. Yeah, just let's have love for everything. It's a simple
Excellent.
message.
Yes, not only science, technology, but love to space.
Yeah,
and
love.
I
believe.
Yes, and friendship with Ronald. So now we have to give you. So we have also with us Mina Phillips. Do you want also to introduce yourself? And then we give some technical details about the travel to the ISS. So Mina, you are there. So I brought some explanations. This is a detail which was drawn by Hank Rogers himself. This is where we are targeting the ISS. You know, Hank, yes, you can explain.
Yeah, so I have this habit when I'm on planes, I draw on hats. And this is a vision of a moon base on the moon. And there's a little history of space exploration. This is Gemini, this is the ISS, and this is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And yeah, so I draw on hats and on planes. What are you doing there?
We are doing this.
So yeah, so people ask me on planes, are you an artist? And it's like, I don't know how to answer that question. You know, the fact that I'm drawing on a hat means yes, but I do have a day job. So I can't really say that I'm an artist. You know, I always think an artist is somebody who makes money by making art, and he doesn't have another. He doesn't have another job. Okay, all right, okay. So if that's not how you define an artist, then I guess I'll take the artist moniker. And you know, it says designer on my newest business card.
Excellent. So that was a transition. So before we move to the technical details of how the ISS looks like, we had a nice artistic representation, and then we'll have some explanation by Kate Rock, our rocket scientist and engineer. We give detail on the launch itself. I want to give the word to Mina. She has joined us. So you want to introduce what is your vision for art into space and the moon? Mina, you hear me? Oh, otherwise you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, I think everybody had a chance to talk. And now, oh, yes. So let's hear now the launch. So what is coming up next? So I would like then to give the floor to Kate Rock. So he's our rocket scientist and engineer to give us, in short, some details we have. So we have our technical expert, Rock Kate, with us.
So hi, everybody. I hope everyone is doing good today. So
Yes.
I'm one of the engineers on the EuroMoonMars team, and today I will give you a short preview of the launch profile of the NG-17 mission. So we can go on the next slide. Okay, so we are launching as part of the NG-17 PR Sellers ISS resupply mission. We can go ahead. Here's some information, general information about the mission. Next slide. We are launching on top of the Antares 230 plus rocket. Here are just some technical specifications if anyone is interested in them. Okay, next. So, and yeah, this is our spacecraft where the moon gallery will be flying inside. Okay, next. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the launch profile, So we are launching Moon Gallery on top of the Antares rocket. Antares, if you go to the next slide, is two-stage rocket. The largest element is the first stage that you can see in the lower section of this graphic. The stage is powered by two RD-181 engines. Above the first stage, you can see an interstage. That's like a structural element that connects first and second stage of the rocket. Antares is a bit of an oddity among the launch vehicles because it uses a solid motor as the second stage. That's quite unusual. And the payload is then mounted on top of the payload adapter. At the top, there's like a black structure on top of just under the Cygnus. And it is encapsulated inside the payload fairings that protect the payload during the launch. Okay, if we move next slide. Okay, here you have everything written down. Okay, next. Let's look at the launch profile. Please, next slide, because we have descriptions included on it. Yeah, great. So at T0, the engines will ignite, and you will be able to see a green flash of light that's produced when the T-tap, that's a special ignition fluid, is used to ignite the propellant inside the engines. And then for 3 long seconds, the rocket will be just sitting on the pad while thrusting. But it's all planned because we need to give engines enough time to throttle up to 100%. This is not something that happens instantaneously. It takes a couple of seconds. Just before the liftoff, then the launch tower will retract. And shortly after that, the launch clamps will release the rocket and Antares will basically lift off from the pad. After clearing the launch pad, Antares will start pitching southeast over the Atlantic Ocean. First stage will burn for approximately 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And after the rocket depletes the propellant stored inside the first stage tanks, the engines will shut down. And 6 seconds later, the first stage will separate from the rest of the rocket. Okay, next slide. So please don't be alarmed about what will come next, because it's meant to be that way. For the next 30 seconds, Antares will just coast. It will appear like nothing is actually happening, but and like it will appear that nothing is happening and the second stage failed to ignite, but that's not the case. This is just a part of the launch profile to keep mission control a bit in suspense. 3 minutes and 54 seconds, the fairings will then separate, followed by the interstage separation 5 seconds later. And at 4 minutes and 7 seconds, the second stage will finally ignite. The second stage will then burn for, if we can go 1 slide back, please. Okay, and then the second stage will burn for approximately 2 minutes and 41 seconds. In the second half of the stage 2 burn, the rocket will start pitching radial. It will appear that it's starting to burn toward the Earth. This isn't an indication of the loss of the control during the burn, but it actually, we have to basically burn the engine in a specific way to get us into orbit as efficiently as possible. After the second stage burns out, the rocket will coast for additional 2 minutes. And in this time, it will orient itself into the correct altitude for the payload separation. And then finally, 8 minutes and 49 seconds after the launch engine ignition on the launch pad, the Cygnus will finally separate from the Antares. If we go to the next slide, one further. One further.
So this will
okay.
get for the first kit, and then?
Yeah, and then as of now, the Antares is already standing vertical on the launch pad. It was basically rolled out from the horizontal integration facility yesterday. And today we will monitor the payload during the dress rehearsal. That's like a simulation of the launch. We are basically simulating the whole countdown sequence. We fill the rocket with the propellant and basically pretend like we are going for launch, but at the last second, we basically hold everything and recycle a rocket back into the safe configuration. We deplete the fuel from the tanks, and we get ready then the rocket for the real launch on Saturday. And as of now, everything appears to be right on track. The instantaneous launch window for Saturday opens at 17:39. So basically, instantaneous launch window means that we basically have to launch at the launch time, or the mission is scrapped for that day. day. If Antares then launches on Saturday, Cygnus is scheduled to arrive on ISS on Monday, and the payload so the Moon Gallery will then be unloaded from Cygnus on Wednesday by the European astronaut Matthias Meyer, and will be placed inside the Columbus module. That's it.
Excellent, Keda. So it's good to have the expert on the technical side. And Matthias Maurer is a very good friend of EuroMoonMars. We have visited him several times with our young professional at the European Astronaut Center. Before he was selected as astronaut, he was taking care of the so-called Spaceship ESC. That's a young professional training program at the European Astronaut Training Center. He's a material scientist and he's very interested in what will be a moon base. But in the meantime, he was selected as astronaut and he's there. And will collect the various payloads, including the Moon Gallery. Also, we are planning a launch in April of Samantha Cristoforetti, so the European astronaut with the Italian passport that will be there for the next 6 months at least. Yeah. Yes.
There's a saying that what goes up must come down. How will the gallery come back to Earth? Or
yes.
will it?
Yeah, Keta?
So the plan is to bring the gallery down on one of the upcoming cargo Dragon resupply missions that will launch later this year and come back earlier next year. The current lifespan of the Moon Gallery is around 10 months on the ISS. So hopefully by either later this year or earlier next year, we get the payload back.
Excellent. Any other questions? So you have some our contacts here. So you can contact Hank, who is our host today from International Moonblade Alliance, and also Serena Krotis that has really put together this beautiful presentation out of your input. I thank also all the contributors. We have also put in the release some resources, website from about our activities. So at this stage, I would like to stop sharing. I would like now, because it's a good tradition of our meeting, we need always to have a gallery of portraits. So can you all put your camera on and we can then take a picture of us. Go on camera. Yeah. Yes, all of you. Yes. Yes.
You can just push a button and do this.
No, just do not have contact. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
There's a button you can push to capture the screen.
Yes, please do it.
Okay, yeah, I don't know how to do that on the PC.
Yes. Yes, so everybody has their picture for immortality from the first New York-based event hosting International Moonblade Alliance, Moon Gallery, EuroMoonMars, EuroMoonMars. Everybody is here? Yes. So now let's, yes. So let's, good. So now I want to thank also our host, Space Renaissance International. And but before that, I think that, do you have any words as our local host?
Where do we go from here?
We
to the moon. I want a picture of everybody. Where do we go from here? We go to the moon.
Yes. Okay. I want also to thank our local host, Lisa. Lisa, I think we want you here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because she has the answer to organize all this. Please can you sit and I want also to say, please can you sit here? And of course, we go with art, we go with science, we go with technology, but at some stage, we need to go with food to the moon. Yes. And so I have the pleasure that we have brought some from my home country, from Holland. So what is your favorite color? White and black? Red. Red. So we give you a red Dutch cheese. And also, Hank, we have some one for you. This, and yes. And so also, of course, we have to toast. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So let's all take a nice glass, not only magnifying glass, but yes. to drink to this nice events. All this time that we have spent together. I want, yes, so every of you, and I hope that we have some opportunities to do more. So what is the program after this? Today, in a few hours, like in 4 hours, we will have another event in an art gallery, so in presence. This will be in 6 hours. So for some of you in Europe, that's midnight. So we are not going to do a virtual event for sure. Yes, and then we are going tomorrow from the group from here. We are going to do an expedition to Washington, D.C. So what is going to happen in Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're going to take over the government. No, just kidding, just kidding. What's going to happen is a bunch of us are going to Washington, D.C., and some of us have never been there before. So we're going to do a little bit of sightseeing, but then we're going to have an event, probably at the Watergate, the infamous Watergate. There's a gallery there apparently, and we're going to have this gallery for a gathering that is going to include all kinds of people from NASA
and ESA,
and
friends from industry,
and friends from the industry. Hopefully, Nanoracks people will be there, and then we're going to have a very nice Indian dinner after that. And the next day, we're going to have another one of these from Washington, D.C. On our way to Wallops that night, we go to Wallops, and exciting. We're going to crash the Nanoracks party, wherever that is. We haven't figured that out yet, but we will.
You'll be invited.
Oh, we're invited. Oh, yeah. Come on. This is it would be so much interesting to crash a party, but hey, we're invited. Okay, so then we're invited. That's good. So thank you all for joining us. It's been a great gathering, and my vision is to have a moon base on the moon by 2030. So I hope you will join us and make that a reality. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so all the best to you. We'll have also some events all over the world. So we are planning a virtual event of 3 days where I will ask each of you to give a 5-minute talk, both from the science, art, and the technical part. We have also some very interesting gathering at the end of March in Paris with some of our friends from the International Astronautical Federation. We have some of you are members of a committee. I see, for instance, Sabine and Alexandra. They are members of the ITACUS committee, and we have also space, habitat, and others. So we are going to discuss with experts about astronautics. Then in May, we have some event planned in other places in Vienna. In June, we are going to have an event in Mount Etna, where I brought some piece to tease you, Etna volcano. In July, we are in the Space Festival Berlin event that is organized by Sabine Heinz. In September, we have an event in Padova to celebrate the 800 years of the universities. In end of September, we have the International Astronautical Congress, the biggest space event with 10,000 people in Paris. And there we hope to see all of you attending. And then we are also thinking about some event in October, an off-world settlement event, maybe combined with some activities in Hawaii with some of our friends from Space Renaissance. So you see quite a great program this year to celebrate going to space, Moon and Mars. But also I want to thank Adriano Otino, our Space Renaissance Vice President, and he sees even beyond our horizon.
And I want us all to give a big thanks to Bernard, because Bernard, without Bernard, all of this wouldn't be happening. So I want everybody to say thank you, Bernard. You are our fearless leader, and you are the one who's making all this happen. Yeah.
Bravo, Bernard. Yeah. And of course, you are going to continue because we need to grow up the group. And that's some of the vision of Space Renaissance International. So Adriano has some message for us. What we can do for civilian off-world development, what we can do for youngsters, what we can do for humanity. So Adriano, as also of this Space Renaissance show, I want to give you some word.
Thank you. It's very late for me. However,
Yes.
I will run a few slides that I prepared. Just a moment that I have to make it to work. Okay, sharing the screen. Sharing the screen. Here we are.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Okay, so first of all, let me say it was a great pleasure, and it is a great pleasure to keep on organizing this event today and this night and the 18 and 19 with this big community that is formed by Space Renaissance International, by the EuroMoonMars and by the Moon Gallery and all these very nice artists and friends that are joining together for this work initiative. Sorry. I will not talk very much about the Space Renaissance because I think Bernard Foing is our president. He was elected during our last Congress in 2021, and he said enough things and things. I think that even in few minutes, when I speak everywhere, I have to bring some content. So I will try to bring into this excellent meeting some philosophical content, because Space Renaissance is a philosophical association, and the academy that started its works in just after our Congress, last Congress, is especially focused in developing the theory of the space age philosophy. So, okay, I will not repeat things because already Bernard said about what we made last year and what we will do in 2022. Just a few, very few concepts about cosmic humanism. We say that our true richness are 8 billion intelligences, because the true wealth is not determined by money, but the capability of work and the capability to design and to make projects and to develop things. Therefore, with 8 billion intelligences, humanity was never being so rich as it is. And salvation will be for everybody, or it will not be. Space Renaissance philosophy is rooted in classic humanism and is going upwards. Classic humanists couldn't have knowledge of the limits posed by our mother planet to human growth. We moved from the awareness that our mother planet cannot be enough forever for a growing civilization. So our greatest value is human patrimony. And the main reason because human patrimony, growing human patrimony is important, is the nursery of good ideas. The more people we are, the more good ideas we will have and capabilities to develop. So the growth is key concept, and only the growth can determine economy, art, culture, democracy, and freedom. Growth of all these things together means civilization progress. And nowadays, this is possible only by civilian space development, beginning to expand into space. Making a quick comparison between two paradigms, the closed world paradigm and the open world paradigm, we can see that in a closed world, human growth soon encounters the finiteness of planet Earth and the resources. So we have shortage of resources, environmental problem, and limits to growth, and fear of the future. And stagnation and economic recession, decrease of the human life value, the rise of mafia conflicts and wars, authoritarianism, tyranny, and barbarism, hostility toward children, and philosophic cannibalism. So decline and death of civilization. Opposite, in an open world paradigm, human growth, if can access to the very huge resources and energy of the solar system, abundance of resources and energy, Earth is Leibniz of the human development weight. So this means boundless development, confidence and hope in the future, unprecedented economic growth, full development of human heritage and intelligent life, obsolescence, progressive obsolescence of wars, mafia, and conflicts, philosophic openness, human nature fusion, a transcendental fusion between humans and nature. The children are the treasure of humanity and growth of civilization. The problem now is that the current vision of the world is pre-Copernican. Earth, planet Earth, also called the planet, is considered the center of the universe and separated by unbreakable barriers toward the rest of the solar system and of the cosmos. But the good news is that the Earth is in space, is not outside, is not in another place. And our mother planet, Earth, is the third planet of our solar system where we can go and use the resources, the asteroids, and everything. So the Space Renaissance Academy focusing on all of these concepts. And now we started the ambassador course, the Space Renaissance Ambassador course, to train the Space Renaissance ambassadors that can spread the word in all the society, because we have to talk to the society, not only to ourselves. So otherwise, we will not reach our goals. So we are preparing for first lectures for this year, that is evolution of utopian thought along history, arriving to conceptualize a new space feasible utopia in a new open world Weltanschauung, ethics and morals evolutions along the history, reflecting on the actuality of Kraft Erike and Gerard O'Neill vision. So the subscriptions are open. It's enough to go to our website and you will find in the homepage very evident the link to subscription. And of course, the invitation is also to join our crew. We are not only a philosophical, but also an activist organization. We need many members, we need many supporters to go around and talk about and boost the space renaissance. So, okay, this is the end. I hope I was not too long. All of you are very welcome to join the Space Renaissance and become a Space Renaissance ambassador. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Adriano. So, bravo, thanks for hosting us on this event. So, I think that at this stage, again, let's celebrate. I think it's for us, yes, it's ample time for drinking and eating. I hope also it is the same for you. So I raise my glass, yes, to the moon, to space, to friendship and love and art. And so I wish you the best. So we try to have a similar event with the update, but just before the launch, something super short before the launch. We will advertise when this will be taking place. We think to do something from Washington, DC, also with some friends in a smaller format, focusing on really what is news, but also inviting some other colleagues that could not attend today. And please, you have seen some of the information press release that we have distributed. Don't hesitate to spread it and also to expand it, you know, the local dimension, the national, the cosmic dimension of what we do to explore space. So thanks very much here from our international moon base, New York City. We give it back to you. All the best.
Hasta.
Aloha.
Okay. Thanks very much. I see you.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting event.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice to see you all in person.
Thanks
Finally.
also to Serena for helping.
Thank you.
And oh, Aoife is here. Oh, yeah. So we have been joined by Aoife. I didn't see you coming. Aoife is from our Itacus committee. She's also one of the artists on board. So let's give. What can we do further with the Itacus committee and with other endeavor for culture and art in space? Aoife.
Put me on the spot, Bernard.
Yes.
I just popped in to say hi. I just got back from work and
Yes.
I popped in to say hi. What else can we do with Ithacus and the venture? Well, I think we can look at the evolution of culture and how it's created and study that and kind of combine. I mean, I'm fascinated by exploring the evolution of what's possible in space, as well as simply putting art into space. How does being in space change the boundaries of where we can push an experiment with our bodies and with materials and with space and time? So yeah.
Excellent. And so you have our art piece on the Moon Gallery. But in any case, we are going to organize together some event at the International Astronomical Congress. IFA organize some special, very nice panel event. So we see you possibly end of March in Paris, but for sure at the International Astronomical Congress in Paris in September. So all the best to you and safe travel back to Earth.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Good. Okay, well, how was the result?
Wonderful.
Okay.
What a pleasure.
I think we need this platform for food.
Yes, excellent. Yes, we move to yes. I sent them an invitation. Didn't John? Just for the head, don't go for. Hey, this is Bernard, I am so impressed with what you do. Please continue to keep me involved. Yeah, how we got. Let's do virtual New York event. Okay,